Hello and welcome to Bites and Bits Live on the Sonar Network, a deliciously cheeky podcast where the worlds of cuisine and comedy collide. Hosted by two professional comedians, that's us. We chat a little bit about comedy, we eat a little food, and we have a lot of fun. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. My name is Matt Mailandt.
And I'm Hisham Kelati. And welcome to
between
Bites
the two of us,
first ever live episode. This is great.
Yeah, it's awesome. Hisham, this is a historic day. We have officially launched the podcast into the world. How are you feeling?
I am an amazing amount of excited. I did not think it would ever come to this. Just two adorable comedians in varying basements, just eating and talking shit. And now a podcast network was like, yes, we'll take you guys. We'll give you an official institution to put behind you. This is incredible. Incredible.
Yeah, shout out to the Sonar Network. We are so thrilled to be part of their award-winning podcast team. They just took home like every award at the Canadian Podcasting Awards, I hear.
Absolute sweep.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. I don't know. We as you guys will discover, we have no fact checkers on this show.
Zero.
So, yeah.
Zero.
We make wild claims, and especially Hisham. I make
outlandish. They have been described as outlandish and fictional. But zero effort. We have no research team. Just a very hardworking producer, and she does not have time to look up my crazy facts.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, other people refer to it as lies. What he says. Yeah, that's another word for what he does.
Wow, coming hot out the gate.
So very exciting news, which we shared on the socials today. I can't believe I said the socials. That sounds douchey, but it won't be the last douchey thing I say. Yeah.
No.
Apple Podcasts have chosen to feature us for our launch week, which is amazing. So if you just go to Apple and you're like, what's going on in the podcast? Well, you like, it's like three scrolls. It's like it takes less than saying no to three people on Tinder, and then you found us on the featured section of Apple Podcasts. I'm so amazed and thrilled. I'm so glad and grateful. You know, a lot of things, I guess. I'm feeling all sorts of stuff.
You know what? I have emotionally the same feeling as you, but it got tempered real quick. I got humbled super fast. I wanted to brag, and I sent a screen cap of us on iTunes to my mom, and she just read it and just texted back, "Does this mean you're hungry?" So I don't know if she knew what was happening or if her mom instinct kicked in, but for sure, she's not listening to this. She's not watching this at all. Not 100%.
Well, you know, I'm 50-50 on my family, so we'll see. I'll get some text in the family chat later. The other thing that's really exciting is that not only are we launching this live episode today, but we also dropped two episodes. So we dropped episode number 1, which is called New Beginnings, featuring the both of us, and then episode number 2, Food and the Internet, with the incredible Jan Caruana. And those are available on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Google or wherever you get podcasts. So you can, as soon as this is over, don't leave now, please stay. But
please stay. We need you. We need you so much.
We do. But then immediately after this, go and download those two episodes, subscribe. Early subscriptions mean a lot. So that's all the plugs for now, because we have a really exciting episode today.
Do you, I don't know. I know our today's theme is first times. Do you by any chance have a first time story you want to share? Because I genuinely enjoy just roasting you and your stories off the top. So if you could just start off, keep our tradition going and bring up a story I can make fun of you about, that'd be really appreciated.
Oh, first times. I've got a story about kind of a first time. When I was 5 years old, I learned how to ride a bicycle in the summer. And it went well. It went great. I was the king of the world. The next year, when I was 6, I kind of forgot how to ride a bicycle. And so I had to relearn, but I didn't relearn very well because I ended up trying to show off to my babysitter who I had a crush on. And I broke my left arm trying to ride down a hill through a tree well. You know, those little indents, like when they're planting trees, they kind of put a little indent into the hill. And so I rode through a tree well and broke my left arm a couple days before grade 1. So that's a true story. You want to roast a weak 6-year-old kid, Hisham?
No, your story was a roast enough. I'm genuinely traumatized. So, like, did you have to wear like a cast of grade?
First day of grade 1. Yeah, first day of grade 1. I had a cast, and I was in pain, and it was not an auspicious start. Yeah, it sucked.
I'm literally just imagining like your head on a very small boy's body with a broken arm, and I'm trying so hard not to laugh right now because I don't like children getting hurt. I can't laugh at that, but I really want to. I really want to. Also, where were you living on a side of a mountain? Why were there holes in the ground for trees?
Well, Calgary, where I'm from, is in the foothills. It's a very hilly region. Now you know.
And your babysitter, was she impressed or was she traumatized because she just watched her ward almost die?
Yeah, I think Darla, I believe her name was. Sorry, Darla, if you're watching. That must have been
The most
a really
Alberta name I've heard in a while.
really
Darla.
shitty gig, a really terrible gig. So one last thing I want to say before we get officially kicked off here is you can comment and we can see that. So please engage with us. If you have things you want to say, get off your chest. If you want to roast Hisham, totally acceptable, totally acceptable. And yeah, we just love the participation because this is a special episode where we can do that. So yeah, please send out those comments, and if we can, we'll respond. Roast them in the comments. Yeah, absolutely. Sonar Network gets us. Thanks, Mariana. So, Hisham, do you want to introduce our very, very, very special guest today?
Yes, I genuinely want to. Matt can attest to this. I have said many a time on this podcast that the next guest, or this episode's guest, is the best person in the whole wide world, and I love him to death more than anything. And I've said that 10 consecutive times, but this time it's actually the truth. And I love this guy so much, I don't want to fuck it up. I'm going to read this verbatim, okay? Tonight, for our live episode, we are excited to be joined by a very special guest. He is a Canadian Screen Award-winning actor. He can be seen in Working Moms, CBC's upcoming Kim's Convenience spinoff Strays, Gary and His Demons, and Amazon's The Boys. He is a Canadian Comedy Award-winning performer. He's an alumni of the Second City. He performed for 2 years in Mirvish's Come From Away, and he can be seen on stage and the small screen with his sketch and improv duo Soul Decision. He also slayed in a one-time stage performance as a drag queen for the 519 Community Center fundraiser, the Diva Cup. It is our good friend, the one, the only, Kevin VIDAL.
Yeah!
Hello. Hi, thank you. It's weird not like entering a stage or
I know.
Like it just I've been
clicking
the whole time.
Sitting through our banal intro. What a trooper. What an absolute trooper.
Thanks for that wonderful intro. Thanks, and thanks again for having me. I've said this already 3 times, I think.
Kevin,
backstage
it is a delight.
Thank you. This is so sweet.
And you're so right. You know, we are used to coming on stage and we're used to people hopefully clapping or even booing or something, right? Like
and
it's
with my hands.
I haven't felt that in so long. You know, that's I mean I can't wait to feel it again one day, hopefully. But
one day, yeah.
But yeah, it's true. We're really used to like normally when we're hosting a show, we're like amped up. We're basically yelling like, "Give it up for the next performer," and the crowd's like, "Yeah!" But in the podcast world, it's like, now if you could please welcome our next guest, who really has something special guy. Yeah, like it's such a different vibe, and we're trading those 2 worlds. Other thing, I just saw in the comments, we've got some viewers in China. I've got a friend in China right now watching this. Shout out to Matt Glessing. So that's amazing that we got people from all over the world. That's great.
Yeah, that's so fun.
So Kevin, what we do here at Bites and Bits is we eat some food and we chat a little bit. So let's get right to the food. Today, I got everyone some sushi. And so grab that and you can take a little taste because we're going to get into our first segment here, which is called First Bites.
First Bites.
All right. Yeah. So we've got sushi here, and I love that we're eating sushi today. I'm not gonna lie, I did a bit of a deep dive on your Instagram, and I saw at least 2 pictures of you eating sushi. So I thought I did. Yeah.
Oh, see, that's already too much. It's funny that you got, because I'm like, sushi is the one thing that I could eat every day, I think, for the rest of my life.
That's great.
Every day?
I think so. I think sushi is like the one food that I think I could eat every day for the rest of my life.
Okay, so
like I was like raised on rice, so like a rice, it's already there. And then fish, yeah, I'm good.
So Kevin, Hisham, take a quick bite. I know Hisham's got dying to have a question. Take a bite and I'll explain what I got here, okay?
Please.
So this is particularly fun for me because Hisham doesn't really like fish. So this is going to be an interesting episode, but Hisham says he's going to be brave. Oh, that's the pressed sushi that I got you. Okay, so what I got for everyone is I got a dynamite roll, which was Hisham's request. Then I also got a spicy tuna roll, which is my favorite. And then I got a specialty from each of the locations because, Kevin, where are you joining from us? Joining us from today?
I'm in Vancouver.
Yeah, I'm going to make it talk with your mouth full. That's what this podcast is about. Yeah, for sure.
I also could avoid it, but I'm a rude boy. I will talk with my mouth full.
Kevin, rude boy Vidal.
When we're okay with actual chewing on it, every other podcast 101 class tells you no food, but we want to hear that wet mouth sound, okay? As into the mic as possible.
Yeah, it's the ASMR, right? Like that's what you're going for.
Yeah, exactly. You get it.
Yeah.
We're really trying to we clicked every category on what is your podcast about because we just really desperately want viewers. So ASMR is high up there. So we're hoping.
Yeah. Just chewing, slopping, slurshing sounds. Yeah.
So yeah, Kevin, for you, I got you some pressed the pressed sushi, which is like a new trend. I don't know if you've ever had that before.
Is that a new trend?
Not in Japan, but in Canada.
No, in Canada, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And Hisham, for you, I got you a roll with chicken in it because if you were just like I can't eat any more fish, you have a sushi roll, but there's actually chicken in it. If you're just like I'm out, I'm done with this. But I want to hear your thoughts. What are the first bites? What are the thoughts? I'm going to get into this.
I will say that I'm a big fan of this pressed sushi. I don't know flavor wise if it tastes any different, but definitely they do a bit of a torching on top, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
So you get a bit of a cooked fish on there. I'm into it. I'm totally into it. There's also this. It comes with a little flower. There's a little flower on top. Look at that.
That's just beautiful. The Japanese, no one can beat the Japanese in terms of presentation, right? It's just nuts.
Nobody.
So we have a comment from Michael Mongiardi, who is basically
he's our boss at Sonar.
Sorry, boss. He's also asking, what is pressed sushi? Is that literally what it sounds like, or is there something to it?
Yeah.
I want to hear Hisham's lies about it.
Yeah, Hisham, okay. What do you think pressed sushi is?
Yeah. I'm a very very simple man. I just assumed the sushi guy just went, and then he just handed you the roll. Is that what it is? It's just extra compressed.
This is what I mean.
What am I missing?
Because when you get was it regular sushi? Not the maki rolls, the sushi. It's like a fish on top of the rice, and I'm it's the same thing, but this is cut into rectangles.
Yeah.
Is that I don't know.
Yeah, it's really
pressed in a box.
I believe so. Yeah. Yeah. So they form the sushi and then they press in a box and just get it really they put it into rectangles instead of the typical sort of the typical sort of rounded hand formed balls. Yeah. It's just like an extra bit of care on top of something that is an extreme amount of care. Because the sushi we're eating here, this is ceremonial sushi. What we know of is going to sushi, the presentation here. In Japan, often in families, they'll have hand cones, they'll have the fish on one plate, rice, seaweed. They'll kind of do it themselves. It's much more, low pressure. I mean, this is what they'd have for a special meal. But all of us, North Americans, us uncouth North Americans, just eat just cram this ceremonial beautiful sushi in our faces as fast as we can because we're oh, this is great, it's great, yeah.
Yeah,
let's go.
Anytime I watch documentaries on sushi and masters of sushi, they are putting so much. I've never seen the amount of care and love put into any food as I've seen a sushi master put into, or sushi chef put into sushi. And there's the right way of pressing it, the amount of pressure, and then I feel like I'm the asshole going to these places and just shoving it in my face, being yeah, just more, just give me more. But I appreciate the amount of love and care that goes into
you can taste it
making sushi. You can taste it.
Kevin, being the sushi aficionado that you are, have you ever seen the documentary Jiro Dreams of Sushi?
I don't know if I have. I've seen bits of it.
No joke. That documentary was the reason I actually went and tried sushi, because up until like my mid-university years, I had never eaten it before, and I watched like this beautiful story about this man who's dedicated something like 70 years of his life.
Yeah.
Tried
And
and like
he works in like a train station.
yes, he is.
Yeah,
He's a one-star Michelin award-winning sushi master. Who's it's like that Jamaican Patty's place at Bathurst Station. It's just like in this middle of nowhere subway stop, and it's like it can fit like 6 people, and it's just this like absolute hero being like, "Come sit," and like there's no soy sauce apparently. Like it's like verboten. You just have to eat it like right then and there, and it compelled me to eat it. But like I'm not gonna lie, this is tasty, but I don't get how moved you are from this. Like the fact that you were like, I could eat this every day. I ain't seeing it, brother. I ain't seeing it.
So how do you feel about sushi overall now? Like you're like yeah.
So originally from Ottawa, we had like 3 sushi places.
Yeah.
The one where I used to live, there used to be that old school Rogers video rental store that got demolished, and
R.I.P.
A sushi place called 168 Sushi took over, and that's actually where I went to get my first sushi roll. And I'm like, it's great, but I'm like I'll eat it and it's fantastic. I guess like first of all, is this supposed to be eaten warm or cold? That's just a question I've had this entire time. Warm sushi?
Right?
Well, I think room
It's
temperature.
Like room temperature.
Yeah. Not like don't heat it up on the stove, Hisham.
Because I'm like, I see fish, I see
just
chicken.
cooking
I'm like,
the fish.
should this be hot? Like, yeah. See, Kevin gets it. Kevin understands. That's
So
what I said.
I think the best sushi is like it'll be room temperature and it'll like melt in your mouth. Like it
really,
it's like butter. Yeah.
damn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
good.
the fat is like the fat should be at room temperature. It should just melt right in your mouth, right?
Yeah.
So that's what's making the fish taste so good. It's a lot of fatty fish that we're eating, and that's why it tastes amazing.
Oh.
Yeah.
So for me, Hisham, it's like I remember clearly the moment that I first tried sushi. So I was 18 years old. I'd never had it before. I was raised in Alberta, so there was like at the time there was not a lot of sushi joints. It's true. So 18 years old, I'm on a date with my girlfriend. We're meeting her dad for the first time. Okay, and so I want to impress Papa here. And I said, yeah, sure. He picks the restaurant. We go to this place in Eau Claire Market. I don't think it exists anymore. But he takes me to an all-you-can-eat sushi place. And I was like, well, you know what? I'll be polite. I'll do the thing. It doesn't sound great to me, but I'm going to go for it. And I ended up crushing an insane amount of sushi because I just absolutely fell in love with it. For me, it was like, it was a watershed moment. It changed the way I thought about food. Because something that I thought sounded so strange or off-putting, this idea of raw fish, to me as a kid, it just didn't seem appealing at all. And then trying it and then realizing how good it was, it made me question my other sort of like thoughts about food. So it actually literally made me a more adventurous eater. And it's taken me on the path where I am today, where I'll try anything, man.
Yeah. So question, were you an adventurous food eater before that? Like, were you open to... Like, what were you eating before? What was your day to day? What was the most adventurous you'd go before sushi?
So
for both.
Yeah. So this is really apropos because today we're going to be talking about first times on the podcast, and so that was my first time sushi, and it did kind of it changed me a little bit. Before that, I was not picky, I'll say. As a kid, I ate pretty much everything. I was just a hungry, chubby kid. Like literally, I would if you put it on my plate, I was going to eat it. And I came from a family of 4. There was 4 siblings, and so like I had to eat fast and get to seconds because my dad only made enough so that 2 people could have a second helping. Yeah, and I don't know why. So I'd so I would
Survival
go for
of the
it.
fittest.
Yeah. So I ate everything and I ate quickly. There's a handful of things I didn't like as a kid, but mostly I was into it. So I wasn't picky per se, but I don't think, this is still, this is like the 90s when I'm growing up, really early 80s and 90s. And so there wasn't, in terms of the globalization of food, we just didn't have some of those ingredients getting to like the shopping, the stores in Calgary yet. So I just wasn't exposed. I don't think I'd really eaten Thai food yet. I hadn't eaten sushi. There's lots of things I hadn't really tried if it wasn't like sort of like North American food. So I wasn't picky, but yeah, it changed with sushi. Then I'm like, what else? Like, what else is out there? Let's go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have any foods like that, Kevin, where like you tried it for the first time and it like your eyes lit up or like you weren't expecting it to be good and it was?
I think ramen for me was like a big one. I remember going to like my first ramen place and being like, it's ramen. Who cares? And then just having that broth, that thicky broth.
Yeah, that's the technical term, the thicky broth. Yeah,
thicky broth. Yeah, and the I was like that really like flipped my expectations of anything, because I was so used to just getting the ramen packets, and putting them in the boiler and then just doing a garbage ramen at home, and then I was like, oh, you can do stuff with this. This is nice. Get that like soft boiled egg in there. Yeah.
Oh, that miso soft boiled egg. That's like it's a revelation. Love
Absolutely.
me some ramen. We haven't done it on the podcast because I'm not sure how soup is going to translate. I think that might even be too much, but we'll do it.
That's more ASMR than this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, Kevin, yeah, you're right.
Huh?
Yeah, exactly. That's a little preview for the ramen episode, everybody. Thanks. Let us know in the comments if we should do it or, if we should skip.
You just got to do like a full like soup series.
Ooh, that'd be good.
Today we've got canned tomatoes, the Campbells. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fancy.
Yeah. So what something that something that there's a bit of a debate on, I'd say, is what do you think? Well, we'll get away in a little bit. You love, again, from your Instagram, I know you like eating out. I know you like eating in, but you've had sushi in both Toronto and Vancouver. Yeah. You're from Toronto originally, is that right?
I'm from oh my God, why do I have to think about this? I'm from Toronto. I've only been here for a year and a half and I'm getting confused about where I grew up. I grew up in Toronto. I've been there for like 30 years of my life, and I was sort of like placed in every part of that city. And then like my main chunk of my life, I think from when I was like 9 to 22, I was like at like King and Sherbourne, like downtown Toronto. So that was like most of my upbringing. Then I went to school up at like Mount Pleasant and Eglinton. But now I'm in Vancouver, which is like just a very different city.
Yeah, absolutely. You got the water, you got the mountains. Vancouver's lovely. But what we want to know is who's got better sushi, Toronto or Vancouver?
I mean, Vancouver. I have to say Vancouver.
Okay, why do you have to say Vancouver? Because that is something I've also been told. People who have lived all over Canada always say, no matter what, Vancouver is primo #1 spot for sushi.
I guess it's just the closeness to the sea. I mean, I feel like that makes the most sense. But I feel like the sushi that I've had here is above and beyond the sushi that I've had in Toronto. I mean, I think there are good places that you can go in Toronto, but out here, I'm like, oh, any place that you go to sushi wise seems to be much, but like the fish seems much fresher. It just seems to be packed better. Like the flavor, it just feels better.
So,
and maybe that's a placebo thing. I don't know.
Well, everything you're saying makes sense.
Yeah,
everything you're saying makes sense. Proximity to the sea seems to make sense. And I have had sushi in both places, but I've also had I don't think that if you give me like a blind taste test, there's no way I'm telling you the difference between like a lights out sushi place in Toronto and Vancouver. And, this might be a bit of a hot take, but I think that they're neck and neck for me. And the reasoning is that like sushi fishermen, like people that are going out to catch fish, mostly these Japanese fishing boats, they're catching the fish, these tuna, the salmon, whatever it is, deep sea fishing. Then they flash freeze them with nitrogen on their boats, right? So that fish gets frozen right away. It keeps it super fresh. Then that fish stays frozen basically until it either gets like processed, often in Tokyo or some other places as well around the world, but it gets processed, still frozen, chopped up a little bit, and then it gets sent off to these sushi restaurants where they kind of break it down even further and put it into the incredible bite-sized morsels that we stuff in our faces. So it doesn't follow that, if you're getting flash frozen in the middle of the ocean, going to Tokyo, then getting on a plane and going to Vancouver, or getting on a plane and going to Toronto, it doesn't make sense that Vancouver would have fresher sushi than Toronto. I think really what it comes down to is the quality of the chef. So I'm not sure I know that there's a significant Japanese community in Vancouver. So I wonder if the chefs are the difference. Because you talked about like the skill of like a sushi chef. I know in certain cases, if you're apprenticing as a sushi chef, you don't even get to cut a piece of fish for 10 years. Like you have to wait that long before they even give you a knife. It's like, there's an insane craft to it. So I imagine probably it just comes down to the specific chef and their specific expertise, as opposed to proximity to the sea, which of course makes sense. So I'm going to say it's a tie.
Yeah,
that's what I'm going to say.
I will say, red snapper. Have you had red snapper?
I have.
Because that one can be really rubbery, and I found here it tastes like it's just a little bit softer. You know what I mean? Like in Toronto, the red snapper that I've had tastes like you're eating just like a rubber sole.
You know what? I think, Kevin, we need to do a spin-off podcast called Soft Fish for Soft Boys. I think if you're in, I'm in.
It's my show.
Yeah, it's yours now. You can take it, but I want to guess.
My show. So have fun, boys. Have fun with the soft fish. I'm going to stick with the hard meat. Thank you so much. And okay, then, Kev.
Insecurities, yeah.
While you're eating just soft dripping
soft
fish. That's ASMR. Okay, yeah. This is once again, I am a sushi novice, and I appreciate that you're being very, very gentle with my very dumb questions. Why is avocado involved at all? I'm looking at this beautiful piece. It's got these like a very nicely diced cucumbers, the white rice sushi, and there's just a junk. Just look at this. Why is there avocado? That's not even the same overlap on the Venn diagram.
I don't understand this question because I don't understand why you wouldn't put avocado on everything.
Oh, Kevin, you have unlocked the biggest thing in me right now.
No,
I am not. I'm kind of like anti-avocado / guacamole. I have a lot of baggage when it comes to this specific food item. I'm trying not to unload right now because I want this to be a very good live episode. So I'm just going to stick to my query, which is why is avocado involved? And is that like a mouthfeel? Is that supposed to accent the taste of something?
I mean, I personally love the way it mixes with everything.
Wow. I
think it's such a good compliment to fish.
It's so wild that Hisham doesn't understand avocado. He's like, explain to me why anyone would eat this abomination.
It's just, and you know what? No, this is a food podcast. I'm trying to be a chiller human being. I don't want to unload, but it has the consistency of flu snot. Why am I eating this with lemon and salt with chips, and let alone in this would-be amazing sushi roll? There wasn't avocado. I'm not the crazy one right now. Okay, someone in the comments.
Nobody. There's nobody.
You're a wild man, Hisham. You can take the boy out of Ottawa, but you can never destroy his rage. Right? You can never. But
I will die on this hill.
This is very funny. Also, in the comments coming up, Hisham, what about pickles on sushi? What are your thoughts on that?
And all of those people should be marched into the ocean for the sake of humanity and our collective gene pool. I have no idea why you would involve pickles.
I don't know which people you're referring to, but we're not going to get specific because we don't want to. Yeah. So just like pickles.
You pickle eaters.
Are you personifying the pickles?
People.
Ironically, the seawater would
down. It's just everybody's pickle eaters. Everybody.
Please keep those comments about pickles coming. We appreciate it. Hisham, should we get to our game a little bit here? You wanna play play a game with Kevin?
Please. Okay, Kevin, we're gonna play a little fun food game. We're gonna play a game called Sheets or Eats. Because you have performed in a Tony Award-winning musical and you love to eat out, we've made a list of song titles and restaurants in Toronto and Vancouver. And the game is you have to tell us which of the following names can be found on music sheets or somewhere you get delicious eats. Are you ready, sir?
So it's like song titles or restaurant names. And I when I was doing this research with our segment writer, Tony Hall, shout out Tony, we made sure to find restaurants that are currently open in Toronto or Vancouver. So these restaurants still technically exist. There were a lot of restaurants with just awful names that have gone out of business. I don't know why. So we did not include those. We wanted to give you a fighting chance. So is this a song from a musical or is it the name of a restaurant? You got to let us know.
Okay, love this.
Your face is saying
Number
your
one.
face is saying something different than your words, Kevin.
No, I love this. Because I love food and I love musical theater, but I will not know any of these.
Well, so far you're zero for zero, and you might improve. Well, so let's go. I'm gonna eat this delicious piece of sushi. What do you get?
Okay, number one,
Yeah.
turkey lurkey.
Oh gosh. Let's. I think turkey lurkey sounds like it would be from like an Oklahoma type of musical. So I think I'm gonna go with musical like music sheets.
That is correct, sir.
Whoa!
It is from the
One
musical
for one.
Promises. I'm very impressed
Promises.
by that. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, my favorite musical.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number
Is that your
two.
favorite?
Oh.
Go. Yeah. No,
Is
go.
that
I don't want
your
to interrupt.
favorite?
You go again.
Oh no, I was going to do a bit where everyone was going to be my favorite musical, but now it feels awkward. So, no. My actual favorite musical is Hamilton, but
Oh yeah.
but now cat's out of the
Mine
bag.
is The Producers. Okay, number two. Donkey pot pie.
Donkey pot pie. Okay. Well, here we go. Because now this is like we're going into like a Sweeney Todd thing, maybe. I'm gonna go with restaurant. I think it's gonna be a restaurant.
Unfortunately, that is incorrect. Donkey pot pie is one of the songs from the incredible Broadway musical Shrek.
It is. You know.
Oh man, there is egg on your face, buddy. Should have known that one.
Look at this. Like why?
What? Do you have the album? Oh my! What is happening?
What are we doing? I have.
Oh my
the
God.
songbook.
He has the actual sheets.
Kevin, it's right, Donkey pot pie.
It's right here.
That was yours to lose, and you lost it. Wow.
Kevin, can you sight read? Kevin, can you sight read?
Can I sight read? No, I
Yeah.
can't.
Okay, well then I'm not going to get you to try to say it, but I was going to. Good answer.
That would have
Good
been incredible.
answer.
That would have been incredible.
My husband can though. We should get him.
Just get him in. Get him in here,
Yeah.
Daddy, we need you. We need you for Donkey Pot Pie.
It's integral to the podcast. Okay. Number three, Aztec's Mine.
Oh. Aztec's Mine?
Yes.
Mine.
like-
M-I-N-E.
Yeah. I think they're both spelled that way, no?
They are.
But thanks for clearing it up.
There's
You
no
know what?
why
I'm
in
going to
this
give
word.
Kevin the point on that anyway because that was incredible. That was the quickest snipe I've ever seen. That is just going to be our opening intro forever. Can we just end the podcast now? It'll not be better than that. Holy shit. That was great.
I did have a second though.
Oh my
thinking,
God.
which one
I'm
is
living
it?
for
And
this.
I think that's a restaurant.
That-
Oh God.
Ooh, and he's correct. Aztec's Mine of Toronto.
Oh, from Toronto.
We only have 3 more left.
Okay. I'm already
Next
sweating.
one.
Yeah.
Next one. Women and sandwiches.
Oh, okay. Women and sandwiches?
Yes.
This sounds.
If you're a real feminist, you'll know this answer.
You're right. This here's the thing, because I don't want to think that this is also from like an era. Oh, you know what? An era of like the guys and dolls, with all the misogyny and all that stuff.
Yeah, all the misogyny.
All the misogyny and all that stuff,
that stuff. But I'm also like, it could be from a musical called Waitress. But no, I can't. You know what? I'm going with the restaurant. Let's go with restaurant.
That is unfortunately incorrect.
Gosh.
It is from the musical, no joke, Freaky Friday.
Yeah.
With all the misogyny and stuff. All right, next one.
Okay, second last one. Lovebird.
Lovebird. Now, see, that sounds like both. We're gonna go with the restaurant on this one.
You know what?
You gotta.
I'm going to give you this because it was your first instinct. It's actually both.
It's like both.
Lovebird is both
eh?
a restaurant in Toronto and a song from the musical Steel Pier.
My favorite musical.
Okay, and this is it. This is for all the money, okay? You're technically tied. It comes down to this. Is the next one a restaurant name or a Broadway song? Piragua.
Piragua. That's a restaurant.
Mr. Vidal, is that your final answer?
Oh, man, why'd you have to do that?
Call you by your last name?
That's my final answer.
Restaurant?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. It is incorrect. It is a song from the musical In the Heights. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much. Round of applause for Mr. Kevin Vidal. That was Sheets and Eats. Because he lost, he will be executed shortly. Thank you guys so much. Let's cut to our next segment, please. Thank you.
Okay.
We're not cutting. We're just, this is live the whole time, Hisham. We got to keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you were playing along at home, let us know in the chat how you did. If you were playing along at home, we'd love to see if you will now take Kevin's job the next time he auditions for a musical because of your knowledge.
Also, I cannot believe you have the Shrek the Musical book and behind you. That's amazing.
And you know what I have too? You know what's sad too?
What? Tell me.
In the Heights.
Kevin! No!
I will say, no, it is pronounced Piragua.
Oh, that, you know what? Okay, you burned both Matt and myself during the segment. We are
you get
never
2 bonus
doing
points.
this again. Wow. Okay, you win. You win. You're now the host of the show.
I didn't want to say it at the time.
Ebop is also calling Kevin out. Of course, he also has In the Heights. Well, he shamed us. So, yes, that's incredible. Do you have God Bless You, Mr. Rosewater, or How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying by any chance? Because that would be amazing.
No, I don't got those.
Those are both my favorite musicals.
Yeah. Okay, get out. Get out, Matt. Get out. You know what? Wait, go ahead.
I was just going to say, one of the reasons why Kevin's so delightful is he's one of those like rare actors who it feels like, sort of unfairly like he can do it all.
Yes.
It's true.
Agree.
When I was first introduced to you, you were like a comedian and a sketch comedian and improviser. And then, one day there was this announcement. Oh yeah, Kevin just booked a role in Come From Away, the Tony Award winning musical for 2 years at Mervish and like one of the biggest theaters in Toronto.
And may I
national
say,
tour.
as somebody who watched that twice, this man is literally so talented. I want to punch him in the face. It was obnoxious. Okay. Obnoxious.
That's very sweet. Thank you.
And
I will say though, auditioning for that, I was in, I think, like my second callback for it, and we had to do the dance call, and we were there with like 5 different people learning this dance, and it was like something you do in the show, and there's very minimal dancing in the show. And it's all very, very Newfoundlander kind of down to earth. Yeah, a lot of that. and the choreographer at the time, I remember a few of us being frustrated with the dance because you only have like 20 minutes to learn this thing, and the choreographer that was there was like, "Oh, don't worry. We're not looking for singers or dancers. We're looking for real people." And in that moment, I went, "Thank God." And I'm like, this it's closer. I'm like, maybe I have a chance. So I got through it by being, hopefully, I think, a regular human. Because I can't. I mean, most of those Broadway shows, I'm like, I can't do that. What is a triple pirouette, and you're singing vibrato on a high C? I don't know. I don't know anything.
And you don't. If I remember correctly, you don't have like just like theater training, right? That wasn't your background. Is that correct?
No, none of
So
that.
you went in, you went to the Second City Conservatory and performed at Second City. So you had comedy training, but without any theater training, you just thought, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to audition for like this like huge musical. Like, how did you get there?
I've been doing musical theater throughout my time.
You're a great musical improviser. Yeah,
I did.
I do know that.
I mean, I know it's.
You are.
That's
you
the one
are.
that gives me the most like anxiety. I actually started in musical theater before I did comedy, so I was like,
okay, so it's a full circle moment. Got it.
It was a bit of a full circle moment. It was so nice, and then also with that show too, I was like, we're jumping in from character to character. There's just 12 people on stage. This feels like sketch, you know. So
well,
it kind of was this like perfect combination of things, and especially for myself who had the sketch comedy background, and then also a bit of the musical stuff. I'm like, yeah, great. This show kind of like brings all of that together for me, which is so nice.
Well, it's interesting what you were saying there just about the anxiety, because we performed together a few times, and the first time we performed together, you came and did Notorious, my hip hop comedy show. You remember this?
Yeah.
Yes,
Notorious.
That was the most fun.
It was so fun, and you were excellent. But I remember right before the show, you came up to me. You're like, I don't think I can freestyle rap. I don't know if I can do it. I'm feeling really nervous. Like, you're definitely anxious. I'm like, Kevin, you've won Canadian Comedy Awards. Like, you're a great musical improviser. You're amazing. You're like, I don't know. I don't know if I can do it. I'm like, well, you know what? Here, just we'll make sure you don't go first. You can, you kind of watch what's going on. We'll do a little rehearsal. And you're like, I think I'm just going to kind of do some mumble rap stuff. And I was like, yeah, great. Sounds good. And so Kevin came out, and he was this incredibly hilarious mumble rapper that to this day might have been the funniest guest we ever had in Notorious. You absolutely slayed it. You just like took those nerves. You're like, I don't know if I can rap. I'm going to put some mumbles in. I'm going to get some punchlines in. And you were so committed, and the audience absolutely loved you.
Yeah, I will always find a way to not do musical comedy.
That's awesome.
Always. For some, like, my mind doesn't, like, you have such a brilliant mind for being able to link it, like, in the moment, like words and rhymes and all that. And I'm like, my mind doesn't work like that. But I do, like, I mean, if I found a way, you didn't
shy away, and that's the thing. And is that what I'm kind of getting at is, like, has that approach served you, or like, what do you do in those moments? How do you overcome that anxiety and deliver? Because clearly you're an actor that can deliver on a variety of mediums.
I mean, I think I'm still trying to figure a lot of that out, especially with, like, improv is one of those things that I feel like, it just comes and goes sometimes, like, you can't get on stage and be like, tonight's going to be the night where I slay it, all you can do is, like, focus on just, like, having fun, just having a blast, and then hopefully it's good. But then musical improv is, like, such a different beast, because, like, there's a lot of, like, forethought that kind of goes. I don't. You
kind of have to write quickly. It's a little bit less like improv, and it's more like fast writing, I'd say, with musical improv.
Yeah, so I mean that's the one that I like. I know whenever it comes up, that's when I feel like my heart starts beating, I start sweating, and I go, I clench up, and everything sort of, like, starts to fall apart, and I get it, and it's mostly I get in my head about it, and I don't know how to get out of that. But I definitely, like, find ways of, there's do you know that guy Marc? What's his name? He does, like, a bunch of, like, freestyle stuff on the piano. He's in a robe. On like Instagram, but he does a lot of, like, sort of, like, freestyle-y kind of, like, music type stuff, but he doesn't do anything necessarily like, or like Reggie Watts, you know what I mean? Like, he sort of like goes in and out of, like, the which I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like, I could kind of, like, fall into that of, like, saying some words and then just kind of doing a melody and kind of, like, doing some fun sort of, like, melodic thing, which I think sort of fits for me, but I'm like, I think there's always a way to do something, as long as you find a way that works for you. But I think we're all capable, I think, right? I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, I think what you're saying is, like, you need to be true to yourself, kind of what you're talking a little bit about, like, knowing your own limits, right? You're not trying to be like a Reggie Watts necessarily, or someone else that has different aptitudes. You're like, this is my wheelhouse. I'm confident within that, even if I'm unconfident in the specific thing I'm trying to achieve. And so you kind of, like, use that as your crutch, if I'm hearing you correctly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's what I found with, like, the mumble rap character where I was like, I know I can have fun with this and I don't have to be in my head about anything. And it was also, I was like, I know it's going to be super different from what you guys are doing. So I don't have to try to
compete or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Where I'm like, I know I get in my head about that. So I was like, I can just go and have fun and be this sort of like off counter to like your brilliant minds, you know. That's how I thought of it.
Listen, Kevin, we're here to talk how great you are. All right, this is not. We're uncomfortable in the scenario. We're used to being roasted. Okay, so I appreciate it, but if you could stop sometime soon and say something mean, we'll be much more on tone for the podcast. What did you do first? Did you do did you get into like sort of film auditions and film stuff first, or was it the live comedy, the theater stuff first? Like what was first for you?
It was all theater. It was all theater for me. I kind of went through like the phase of, you know, I'm going to do theater and then I'm going to leave it forever and just do film. And then I started doing film and I hate this.
Marc Rebillet? Is that the,
yeah.
Marc Rebillet. Yeah. Well, thanks,
right.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah.
Thanks. We got a comment up there. Sorry. I just wanted to throw that at you, Kevin.
I love Communities. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. He's so fun to watch. But he's like very much just like this. He just he's a brilliant like producer when he's like playing music and he puts together this stuff that you're like, oh, that's not going to work. And then you're like, it works. And then he just kind of freestyles on top of it. But sometimes it's just very incoherent, or he'll just say the same thing over and over again. Anyways. So going back to the other thing, I started off in theater and then it kind of like had to figure out film.
Yeah, what was that like? Your first times, like when you got on set for the first time, what was that like? I know it can be, for me, it was exhilarating and intimidating, but like, what was it like for you?
I think I mimicked the same sort of like, you're so excited to be filming anything and getting paid for it, that everything's amazing. But then but it was also like nobody tells you what to do on set.
Yeah, like everyone pretends like you should know what you're doing, and everyone is like very grumpy for the most part, and they're moving really quickly. They don't have time for you. You're supposed to know where to be and what to do, and like it's like a young actor, like what's going on?
Yeah, there's like a hierarchy. There's like forms that nobody tells you how to
forms.
fill out.
No one ever tells you how to fill out those forms ever. No.
Yeah, and I feel like they're all different. They all say different things. I don't know what they're for. But I always just ask ADs, you know, just tell me where to sign, and that's it. That's it was a lot of the same of it just felt like a bit of a whirlwind, but also so much excitement of just being able to film something. But then also like all the insecurities of, I've done stage, but they tell you to act different for film, so I'll try. And you're just trying stuff, you know?
Next time you're feeling like you don't know what to do, you should text Hisham, because Hisham just did a gig standing in on a film set. So he knows it all. As a stand-in, he can give you all those tips.
One of the worst experiences of my life. I hated every moment of it. They lied to us. We were there for longer than we should have. I'd throw a hissy fit, but I got some good sandwiches out of it, so we'll call it.
That's it. As long as they got good catering, then you're good.
Oh, I go ahead.
No, you say.
No, go ahead. No, I have literally 2 weeks worth of breakfast stuff in my cabinet now because of that.
Yeah, take it all.
You just brought a huge bag and no expectations. Just like
zero.
Just show up with a hockey bag on your back.
That's how you live life. Just one of those those airplane carry-ons.
Yeah, the rollies. Yeah,
like 4. I need at least a bag with 4 extra pockets. I need to stuff all the extra granola bars and the juice boxes. Oh, buddy.
Yeah.
But you were saying, sorry.
Nobody tells you about like that film set hierarchy stuff.
No.
And it's awful when you're at the lowest end of it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And there is a lowest end of it, because I see you, and I think that's all the stuff that I think that's like they're trying to change. But I'm like my first thing on film, I was a background actor, which I didn't realize I was. And
that's important to know. Jeez.
Yeah. But I was like, I'm like, once I got there, they were like, I hear the leads. I mean, it's like we're shooting this a telecommunications commercial for the States that they filmed up in like Barrie or something. And so it was me, another actor from Toronto, and then these two guys from the States that they flew up, and it was just us and this like tiny crew. And we got to the set location, and they were like, okay, the leads, here is your trailer where you're going to hang out for the day. And it was like windy, it was like a little bit rainy, and then they were like, and for you two, me and this other woman, they were like, and that's where you guys are going to hang out. And it was this like haphazardly put together tent with two chairs, and that's it. Just like, we're just sitting outside while it's like kind of raining, and I'm like, okay. And I was like, yeah, I guess this is. But at the time, you go, yeah, I'm filming something. I'm working, So you take whatever, and nobody talks to you. Nobody tells you what's happening. Nobody talks to you like a human being. You're just a prop, and you're just like, okay, what a weird thing. But so nobody prepares people for this stuff.
Yeah, there's no class of Humber for this. Not at all. Not at all. No.
How to advocate for yourself on a film set. Truly, it should be one. There's a lot of things, that all of those little pieces you do not learn about when you're studying comedy. They're like, here's how you make a joke. You're like, great, I got this. And they're like, now people are going to shit on you in a variety of different ways for the rest of your career, and you have to figure it out. See you later. Like, what was that last part? Sorry, what? I just missed that. But I mean, I hope that things have changed a little bit. You're on the upcoming CBC show Strays, and I know it hasn't released yet, so you can't talk too much about it. But what was that process like for you? As also because you're in the Kim's world, like you were in Kim's Convenience too, so it's this cool thing where you get to be part of the world again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I'm coming back as a different character. I think there were like a few of us that were in the Kim's world that are also coming back, and we're just completely different characters. But I mean, I think they're trying to sort of like separate this from Kim's and sort of have it be its own thing. And I mean, it definitely is Shannon Ross coming into her own and being having her own show and her own world. But I mean, this I no, I'm not going to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it. But it definitely like it's we're following her story. And then with all these characters, and I mean it's been so nice. I think especially like during the pandemic, I hadn't been doing much, and I had just come from away. Things.
No, it's true. When we started this podcast, it was the only thing on my calendar. Like when we started working on this back in April, and it was like that's it. Every 2 weeks, like here's the thing, and then there's nothing else. It's wild. Yeah. Anyways, go on.
Yeah. No, I mean I hadn't been doing anything for like 8 months. I came back to do some Workin Moms in last like September, November. Mm-hmm. And then I knew I had this show coming up to shoot, and I was shooting for about like 10-11 weeks, which was nice, and I was like just looking forward to that. And then also going through like a whole sort of like just trying to figure myself out more, and who I am, what I am in this industry, in this world, and just all of those things that I think the pandemic has been doing to most of us, and I think especially artists, where we're just like self-reflecting now.
100%.
Oh God.
Why are we?
There's nothing worse.
Why am I doing this?
There's nothing worse than like an artist or a comedian without a stage for 2 years, right? Like, it's just like, what is going on? All of like your coping mechanisms, like the joke telling for the people, it's not like you can't use any of those, right? And we're just like in our heads. It's wild.
Totally. Yeah. So I mean, having that come up was like a nice thing to look forward to. And then especially with this character, I mean, this character for me is like a character that I had played only through improv.
Oh, so it's a bit of a departure for you.
Yeah.
No, I mean
for like Rinse, for sure. Yeah, it honestly, it really is. Like in terms of like what I saw written out, I presented what I presented in the audition, and that is something that was by far the most theatrical I had ever been on a film. And I was like, I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna go for it, and I'm just gonna let out what I want to let out as myself, Kevin, right now in this moment. And then the more callbacks I got back, I was like, okay, I guess I have to kind of keep going with this.
Something hit,
yeah. So then going through like the whole filming process of it was kind of like, and I've been saying to so many people, it's been very therapeutic to kind of release that side of myself, which was, you know, a little bit more like flamboyant, eccentric. And just, yeah, it just felt like much more of like a true side of myself than I've ever played.
Well,
If you don't mind,
Nice.
yeah,
I'd
go
like
ahead,
to
Hisham.
I'd like to delve into that. So, you managed to, I guess, in your mind, internalize what you thought the character would be, and then during the process of the character being fleshed out, and you actually, at working, did they incorporate some of what you brought, or did you just kind of dig into that what you had inside when you were just playing the character, and you're like, oh, this is how it's just going to come out?
Yeah, I mean, I essentially sort of like found, I think like my voice within the character, and then while we were shooting, I mean, I tried my best to just like present as many different, I guess like intentions with what I thought the
Nice.
scene would be, or what I think the character would do, and then I kind of just like left it up to them to do whatever. I'm like, this is the most excited I've been to see something, because I'm like, I have no idea if what I did worked, or if they liked anything, or if, like what they're gonna pick. Because I'm like, in my head, I tried to do the thing where, you know, every take you do something different.
Yeah, yeah.
I give them different things, so in the editing room they can cut together whatever they want. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I have no idea what's going to happen, because I feel like I used to be so in my head about film, of just trying to, and even especially with stage too, you know, I try so hard to be as precise as you can. And I think also, like, coming from the world of comedy, when you get to a place where you're like, I know this joke works because of this way, you know, you
It's
find
mechanical,
inflection.
yeah.
It's math,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you get so used to kind of finding
Yes.
a certain way to say something to get an audience to react. And so this time I just kind of went, I think I'm just gonna just kind of like try to make myself laugh, if anything, you know.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Well, I also want to come back to something you said a little bit, because just on the subject of first times here, like, the goal of both theater and film is to make something appear as if it's happening for the first time, right?
Yeah.
And in theater, you got one shot to kind of like to, you know, while the audience is there live, and then in film, you get a variety of takes to make it feel like it's the first time. So it feels like here you found a hybrid of those two things for this role. Am I reading that correctly, or do you find it easier with one medium or the other to get that feeling of first time?
Yeah, no, I think you like, yeah, I'm like, I definitely tried to find like the hybrid for myself, at least. And I think especially with the show, where I think I got to play a little bit more of a broad character. I think the tone of the show,
I thought you were saying like abroad, and I thought you're like, oh wow,
Abroad,
there's
yeah,
that misogyny and stuff. It's coming right back. I got to play abroad.
Yeah. But I definitely tried to, because I know Nicole Power's character on Kim's, her character is, you know, high energy, quite, you know, and I don't want to say big, but like she, like,
Yeah.
character is a character, you know.
She's big and quirky, and
so
like,
I tried to go in and be like, right, this is her show. I'm just gonna try and match her energy, and so I think within that, I was like, I think I can sort of like play a balance of like playing a little bit more theatrically, but also being able to, I think just playing a little bit more of like a range of going big and then also bringing things in. I don't know if I'm a good actor. Like, these are things that I in my head I tried.
What?
and we'll see what happens when it comes out.
This is so beautiful on so many levels, because I mean, you know, we're friends. We know Kevin, but for some of the viewers that don't, it's so interesting to know that, you know, Kevin's had a certain level of success in the Canadian film and theater industry. You know, he's excellent. He's top notch. But that, you know, but every actor, artist, no matter where you get to, no matter what level you get to, there's insecurities and self-doubt, and you're still figuring things out. And I think that's what makes great artists or comedians. It's that you're not satisfied. You want to get better. You try things out, and you're going to fail.
Totally. Yeah.
If you're not like on the edge of failing, I think in a lot of cases with comedy, with art in general, then you're not making art that's important.
Yeah. I'm like, but it's like, it's sort of that like risk factor of just trying something, which I and especially now too, where I'm in a place where I'm like, I'm not trying anything new personally in terms of like hobbies and stuff. So I'm like, at least I can try something new in my art, I guess, you know, and just throw something at a wall, and this is also why I'm so excited to see it, because I'm like, I know I'm gonna watch it and just be so critical about myself and just see what worked and see what didn't. But I
can just imagine with the remote just backtracking, like, look at this fucker.
Yeah, look at this guy. Oh, you fucked that one. Yeah.
That's the problem with film. That's the problem with film. Yeah, that's very funny. We had a comment come in, a little Hamilton reference. Abob said, Matt, are you saying you'll never be satisfied? No, I'll never be satisfied. Yeah, no, I won't.
Never.
I won't.
Your life is that simple.
Speaking about watching your own film, Kevin, do you watch your own shows, like your own episodes? If you're on an episode of Kim's or Mom's or whatever, like, do you watch the episode? Do you have enough like self-confidence to watch it?
I mean, I think it took like a while for me to do that, but I feel like I've gotten to like, because I was on a show, on a sketch comedy show called Sunnyside.
I remember it. Watched it.
Yeah, Sunnyside. Shout out.
Yeah, we filmed the first half of that season in 2014, and then the second half of the season in 2015, and that was the first time that I'd ever done anything, any sort of film in that like amount of time. We had like 10, 12
like TV, like
yeah, and I'd never done anything more than a day or maybe like an hour on set.
Sure.
So being able to sort of like figure that out while I was there was like one thing, and then being able to watch it and understand what I thought I was doing versus what was coming off on screen was just a very different experience. And it was one of those things where I'm like, I hate watching myself.
Yeah.
But I think I'm the best. Maybe this is wrong too, but I think I'm the best judge of when I think I'm like being authentic.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, because I'm like, I can see when I'm like uncomfortable in this moment. Why am I uncomfortable? Or what was I do? Like, was there something that was like throwing me off a bit? So it was one of those things where I was able to watch that. And then when we went to go shoot the second half of that season next year, I was like, yo, I got this. I understand the tone that they were going for. And I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna go and just do what you wanted me to do.
That's
Nice.
really, I love that,
Nice.
Kevin. And it's really funny because it's the opposite of Hisham, who's never listened to one of his stand-up sets in the history of his life. So you can tell if you listen to Tigre King, his debut stand-up album, you'll notice.
Yeah. Wow, that's wild.
No, I don't know. I'm just roasting.
No, it's true. There's no roast. He said a factual statement. I have never watched any of my stand-up clips. I've never listened to any of my recordings. I haven't seen a single. I cannot stomach my own face doing art.
Got a great face.
I can't.
Yeah.
Thank you. But yeah, emotionally, I'm not there yet. I'll get there, Kevin. But no, I'm not there yet. No.
Yeah, no, I get it. I heard a thing about like Robert De Niro that he watches his dailies all the time. Like they'll film and then he'll watch the playback.
So like just the unedited cuts of what he did that day.
Yeah, and
or the slightly edited cuts. Yeah, which is like not that common. Like I've never done that.
No. And I don't know at what point of like when you become an actor when you can go. Let me watch what we just did.
I've done it like once or twice. I was on set shooting this commercial where I was like, I was doing some stunt stuff. I was like flying. They had me on wires. So in that case, I went over and I'm like, it was pretty cool. Yeah, it was like some superhero shit. But it wasn't. It won't be as exciting when it comes out. I can't say anything else. But I was flying, and so in that case, I'm like, I had the confidence to do it because I knew I needed to see what was going on so I could like get the angle right and the technical parts right. But other than that, I'm like, no, it's cool, man. Just show me what you show me. Like whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I watching myself on stage. I will not do.
Ooh, like musical theater stage or improv sketch?
Yeah, we had like all of that. Like I like watching. We had like a filmed version of Come From Away. That we had as like an archival, so we can, if you were ever off on something, we would kind of go back to that and watch it. And I have, I shouldn't say that. I have it somewhere.
It's not within reach. What do you mean? It's not like, and here it is, the DVD.
It's on like a hard drive somewhere. But it's like one of those things where it's like, and like the show is like so beautifully produced when you go see it live, and the set, like it's beautiful. But they have it filmed on a camera that makes it look like a high school production. And I don't know, and it made me.
Yeah, it's illegal to have a good quality camera if you're filming theater. It's a rule. It's in the union book.
It's just someone's shaky handheld.
It's a whole equity thing. Yeah,
Oh
it's in the union rules. I'm sorry, it's just not possible.
But there's
That's
something
so
about
funny.
like filming something from the stage that just takes away all the quality,
All the magic,
all the hard work that was put into it. But I like, it's different with all these like new like Hamilton things, which I'm like, I think they nailed that.
Well, that was a different thing. They kind of knew what they were doing.
That's true, yeah.
Like it's multicam. They're doing different things, right? It's not just one. It's not just one intern with like a camera. Their grandpa's camera, right? Literally, an iPhone would have been better, I'm sure, than like what they
honestly,
use, right?
Probably,
yeah.
True.
Yeah. So I want to kind of put you on the spot. If you could only do one, like the musical theater, the film, or like live comedy for the rest of your life, you had to pick one. What would you pick? What's your fave? It's for a man that's never had to choose in his career. I'm making you choose right now. What would you have to do?
Oh man. I would be okay. I'm gonna say film. Only because it's less, and this is maybe where you want to like specify more things, but because the film is very broad.
Oh, you and the broads. Yeah, we get it, Kevin. Okay, we get it.
Really commit to it, eh, Kev? Wow. All right.
Also, I mean, like, I think I've also realized how important live comedy is to me, especially in this time. So I'm, that would be a hard one. It's an
impossible question. And Kevin, I hope for everyone's sake you never have to choose, because I've been delighted by you in every medium. And I Come From Away was you were incredible. I've done improv with you and seen you do sketch comedy. That's so delightful. You're Christian Smith's better half. Everyone says it. And and also, and then the film side of things, I'm so looking forward to seeing what you do with this character in Strays now. I was excited before, but now I'm even more excited.
Oh, that's very sweet. Thank you. But also, I mean, I'm so excited. Again, I'm so excited to see like this show, and everybody in it is wonderful. But keep your expectations for me down.
Hey, if you set low expectations, you'll achieve them every time. I got it.
This is it. Yeah.
Well, Kevin, before we let you go, we have to ask you what we do with all of our guests, and we're just going to say, what's on your plate? We've talked a little bit about Strays, but it doesn't have to be a career thing. It can be something you're excited about personally, something with Vancouver, who knows? But is there anything you'd like to shout out that's coming up in your life?
The Strays coming up is very exciting. But
September 14th on Gem, as our ticker has told us. Yeah, there it is. Boom! I'm killing it here. Yeah,
Sonar on point.
I think for me personally, it's just just being social again, just going out and doing things, and especially exploring Vancouver, which I've been here for like a year and a half, and I feel like I've only seen just the smallest bit of it, and also things have been closed, but that's on my plate right now. That's all the stuff. Oh, I'm also I'm getting my driver's license.
What?
Congrats!
Yeah, you need that in BC. Like in Toronto, you can get away without a driver's license living in the city, but not in BC.
Oh,
how are you going to get to Whistler? You're not going to walk.
Feeling it. You're not going. Oh, well, I tried. Yeah, no, I'm definitely feeling the license for sure. So I have my written test coming up next week. So I'm hoping it's going to be my first test that I have done since high school.
Hey, you and me both, bro.
Hey, like I completely after high school I was like, no school, bye. That's
right.
Yeah,
I'm done.
Well, and when you're driving, you can subscribe and download all of the Bites and Bits podcasts on your favorite streaming app, and you can listen to all of the other incredible guests every other Monday. How did that sound? Was that seamless? Did that feel like
very
natural?
Organic, extremely organic.
Very
I loved
beautiful. I loved it. Yeah.
Kevin, thank you so much for doing this. This was such a pleasure to chat with you. I haven't seen you in so long, and this was just such a joy. I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you. You're both such wonderful humans. And thank you for the sushi. Thank you for having me. And yeah, best of luck with all of this. I'm so excited to listen.
And I am excited for you to listen to your husband sing Donkey Pot Pie from the Shrek musical immediately after we wrap the podcast.
Also, please send me a tape of that, please. Oh my God, please send me a tape of that, please.
Yeah, we will put it if you're comfortable. It's going on the Instagram page. You heard it here first. Kevin Vidal promised that it would be ready to go.
It's 9:16 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, August 30th, 2021. You heard it. You heard it, guys.
Amazing. Well, again, thank you so much, Kevin. Hisham, you wanna read those credits? You gonna read the credits?
Heck yeah. That's it for this week's episode of Bites and Bits on the Sonar Network. Please subscribe on Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening right now. We want to thank a few people for making this all possible. Our producer, Aaron Conway, writer, Tony Hall, music, editing, and sound design by Ryan Sheedy, and of course you, our listeners.
Thanks again for being part of the bit and sharing some bites with us in this very special live episode. Please, like we said, go download our episodes from your favorite streaming platform, Apple, Spotify, wherever it is. And if you're super into it, follow us at Bites and Bits Podcast. Oh man, I almost got through the whole thing without saying it wrong. At Bites and Bits Podcast on Instagram, or at Hisham Kelati, or at Improv Eats, and check Kevin out at Not Kevin Vidal. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you to the Sonar Network for putting this all on. We hope you had a great time. We'll see you again, everybody.